Hey everybody, it's Mike here from The Art of Guitar. The other day I was electric scooting around a cemetery for some reason, and I had my earbuds in. I was listening to an 80s playlist, and all of a sudden Summer of '69 came on. And it's a song I've heard my entire life. But it's kind of funny because lately I've been listening to these old songs, and I'm hearing them with new ears. I don't know if it's just because I'm scooting around and really focusing on the music, but it gets to the point where all of a sudden I'm hearing every instrument very clearly, and I'm realizing that a lot of bands, including a lot of bands I've been in, have been playing a lot of these songs incorrectly. I'll get more into that later. I already did a video about Hurts So Good, but I wanted to choose another song that's widely played by a lot of cover bands. So out of curiosity, I came home and I brought up YouTube and I started watching cover bands playing this song. And I realized that 95 to almost 100% of the bands don't play the beginning correctly, the first minute of the song, I should say. So they just kind of wing it. And the funniest part of this is my old band, made up of adult students, never played it right until after about 5 times performing it live. So I have a couple audio clips from a couple cover bands, and then I have one from the Foo Fighters, actually, a video.
Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Tony got married. Should've known that we never get far. Had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Tony got married.
So what I want to do is break down the first minute of this song and show you some of the details that go into it on each of the instruments. And then at the end, I'm actually going to do a recording of the first minute, a good version, like a pro version, and then a version of like a mid-level bar band type of quality. And see what you think of the differences between them and which one you prefer. But first of all, let's talk about the drum beat. This is what I really get into. I totally geek out on this kind of stuff. I always find it valuable to learn what the actual recording is doing as far as the kick drum goes, especially. A lot of people overlook that, and it's a huge driving component of the song. So in the first minute of this song, there are actually 3 distinct kick patterns. Here's the first one.
Me and some guys from school.
Did you notice how much space there is between kick drums? It's almost all hi-hat and snare until those 2 kicks, and that creates a real open sound in the beginning of the song. Then the beat changes for the pre-chorus. Check out the kick drum pattern here.
Oh, and I'll look back now.
This is something I never knew till the other day, but there's still space happening between the kick drums, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Between the first kick and then the next set of kicks, there's a huge open space, and that makes the music feel a certain way. The third pattern happens when the whole band just kicks in full tilt, and it's that drive and groove with the keyboard part going, and here's what it sounds like. So having the kick drum on every 1 and 3 beat, plus the and of 3 every other time, really makes it drive in a rock kind of way. So that's very important that kick drum pattern is in there for that part. And the fourth pattern is actually not going to be a part of the first minute of the song, but it's during the other verses and pre-choruses. It's a kick drum on every 1 and 3, but then he adds it on the and of 2 as well every other time. And that gives it a certain more restrained sound than the previous beat we just did, where everybody's rocking out. But it's still very close. It still has similar qualities. It's just held back a little bit.
Ain't no use in complaining.
Learning these drum parts, this usually happens by the way, really makes me respect Pat Stewart's drum prowess, the way he's able to respect and honor each drum part. And it really creates this composition for the song and makes it feel a certain way. And of course, he's very consistent in doing so. As far as the guitar part goes, this song is very forgiving when it comes to, messing around a little bit. As long as you get the first part muted and tight, and get the changes right, you're usually pretty good. I don't hear many bands mess that up too bad. And you really need to know when to open it up. If you have two guitar players, that's even better because one person can just go hit the big chords. And then when it comes to the pre-chorus, the other guitars can do all the arpeggiating, which sounds great together. So I'm not going to harp too much on the guitar playing because a lot of bands get close enough to make it work. Although there are a lot of details, of course, just like everything else. Let's move to the bass part real quick. Now for a real quick quiz that pertains to the bass line. So after Bryan Adams says Summer of 69 and bam, the band comes in, what is the bass line supposed to be?
Was it summer of 69?
Is it just a bunch of long held out notes like this? I'm using a little distortion on the bass just so it comes through on small speakers a little better. Option 2, does the bass player just play short eighth notes during that part? Or the third option, does the bass player play this? If you chose option 3, you are right. The bass player plays nothing during that part. Another problem I hear a lot of bass players having when they play the song is they do that eighth note feel, and they mostly just follow the root notes quite a bit. If you listen to the real bass line, there are a lot of walk-ups to the notes, so you're going to get a lot of that a lot of people tend to miss. It really makes the song move in a great way, and it locks into the actual kick drum pattern really well. Now for the really fun part. So I mentioned that I recorded the first minute of the song at 2 different levels, the pro level and then like a mid-tier level. So let's start at the pro level, and I was thinking of like a 4-piece band playing this, so I left out the keyboard part, and I also left out one of the most important aspects of the song, which is the tambourine. It's so well recorded, and it's such a big part of the sound, but a lot of the times when I see bands play this live, they don't really have any tambourine going on, strangely. But all right, so here's the pro version.
Was the summer of 69. Me and some guys from school, we had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, but when I look back now, the summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the chance, you know I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah, yeah.
All right, as far as tempo goes, I looked up an old version of Bryan Adams playing this live, and he played it at about that speed, so I kind of mimicked that tempo. I stayed as true to the parts as I could. There was some deviation, but if you listen to even Bryan Adams live, his drummers do little things that are different here and there, but they mainly stay to the script, which is the important part. They have like the main part down, and then they mess around a little bit around it. Now let's check out the mid-tier kind of bar band version of this.
Was the summer of 69. Me and some guys from school, we had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, but when I look back now, that summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the chance, you know I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah, yeah.
The biggest thing I noticed with that version is that the kick drum is doing what I hear so many drummers do for this song, which is hit a single kick on the and of 2. And that changes the whole feel of the song. It gives it kind of like this slower version of Footloose feel or something. It's like this do 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 do. And when you listen to the actual song, it's not that feel at all. It's more of a very straightforward flowing feel instead. Did you notice the bass guitar came in right away when the drums came in? So that was a mistake I talked about earlier. I had to throw that in for sure. And then the guitars weren't super bad. They were a little more distorted than they were supposed to be, and they didn't really follow the true to the parts as much. The worst aspect of the guitar, though, is it started to follow the kick drum. So that and of 2 hit. kind of forces you into that different groove just because the kick drum and the guitars are emphasizing that and of two. So to me, it really kind of destroys the feel of that part. Real quick, let's listen to both versions again and really listen for these little details that I mentioned earlier.
Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school, we had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, but when I look back now, that summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the chance, you know I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah, yeah. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school, we had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, but when I look back now, that summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the chance, you know I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah, yeah.
Now, even though the mid-level version isn't technically correct, there are a lot of aspects of it that I really do like. I like the drum fill at the very end. I like the snare drum on the stop. There's just a couple things that are a little more exciting feeling, just because it has that more live vibe happening. It's almost like certain things are a little more spontaneous, and I do like that for a lot of live situations. But when I listen to the pro version, it just has this openness to it, like this free flow feel to it, which I associate more to the theme of the song, being nostalgic for when you're younger and free and happy and all that stuff. Whereas the mid-level just has more of a serious feel to it. I think it's all the kick drums added to it. It just seems like it's more locked in, it's a little bit more constrained, if you will. After I did my video that was kind of like this for Hurt So Good, I got a lot of comments. And a few people were kind of upset about the idea, the concept of what I'm saying. And they're like, you know what? I see nothing wrong with making a cover song your own and doing it your own way. Basically kind of reconstructing it from the ground up according to how you play and your style. And I'm cool with that. But I've learned over the years that a lot of people who say that are usually just unwilling to put in the time to learn the details. What I love the most and what really seems to be the most effective with the bands that I play with is that we learn the right thing first. So the structure is sound. We're honoring the parts of the song that these people work so hard to put together and construct. And then from there, if you want to go off and do something crazy, that's up to you, but you're still going to have that real solid nucleus of the song. And there's degrees, of course. If you're a tribute band, you really want to do it just like the album. But if you're just a cover band having fun, there's nothing wrong with, being flexible and having fun with it. But it comes down to sometimes just some people don't want to put in the time, and that's the only thing that really bothers me. In the comments section, let me know what your opinion is about playing cover songs and getting as close as possible, all the details. Does it matter to you? Do you guys just kind of get it close enough to pass, close enough for rock and roll, as some people say? Or are you more like me and you obsess over all the details? I look forward to reading your comments, and we'll catch you at the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.